Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Sport Report by B&B Syndicate. I'm Birdie.
I'm Burke.
And we are here to talk about the Royal Rumble.
We are. This was a lot of fun, but I think we're forgetting something. Ladies and gentlemen, a tribute.
Oh, yes. Kobe. I don't have anything. Oh, here we go. Kobe.
May he rest in peace. It was
Along with his daughter and the others who perished in that crash.
Yeah, that was really sad. That was a rough thing to wake up to.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I can remember growing up playing basketball in the front yard and pretending to be either Kobe or Shaq.
Yeah,
So,
indeed. But
indeed, may he rest in peace.
Mm.
And again, everyone who perished with him, our condolences to the families of the victims and all who are affected by it.
Mm.
We decided to give the Kobe shot instead of a moment of silence.
Yeah,
I feel like
seemed more fitting.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Remember him at his prime instead of how he died.
Exactly. But on to
All
things more jolly. I think that's what he would have wanted.
I concur.
All
I don't
right.
know him at all, but
I seemed
hope
like
so.
a happy guy.
he did.
I don't know.
He did. At least in that picture. We'll put that picture up.
Yeah.
And, yeah, looks happy. I hope that's how he is now.
Indeed. All right. So this was really interesting because I don't know exactly how long you've been out of wrestling, but
The last WWE I watched was 2 years ago, essentially, when we watched WrestleMania together at the trailer.
Yeah. So since then, I haven't watched except for Mania. I did dip in for Mania last year, but I haven't watched all year
Yeah.
before or after that.
Okay.
So we had no idea about storylines going in. We just
Yeah.
looked at the rosters and made our picks.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. I don't
Is
know
this
if
the contract we signed?
it
Yeah.
is. It is.
If you can see that, we signed this last week. We tried to get it on video, but the card in our camcorder didn't work. Wherein we outlined the rules for our fantasy WWE/professional wrestling booking.
Indeed.
Do you want to go over the rules?
You understand the rules better, so I think you should go over the
Okay.
rules.
So, basically, how the rules work, if you guys want to follow along with us going forward, we are considering every standard match to be 1 point. If you call a stipulation on top of that is you predict it, like, I don't know. Did either of us get one tonight?
I got one tonight. I called
What was yours?
I called an F5 out of the ring. And
That's
I
right.
called that Kingston would take it.
Right. So, in that case, Jamie got an extra point because he predicted that Brock Lesnar would F5 Kofi Kingston out of the ring. It's something that is very specific. It is a binary. It happened or it did not happen, so it's very easy to track. That is also considered a bonus point. Now, on top of that, the mid-card championships and the tag team championships are each worth 3 points. The world level championships, so the women's championship and the men's world championship and the universal championship and things like that, those matches are a base of 5 points. And special event matches such as the Royal
Rumbles.
such as Hell in a Cell, such as Elimination Chamber, are worth 10 points as a base. And should those things overlap, like, I don't know, an Elimination Chamber wherein a world title is defended,
In the middle of a Royal Rumble.
that would be worth 25 points if you get that one right.
I don't know how you do that.
I don't either, but that would be really cool. WWE, if you're watching, can we have a Elimination Chamber match inside the Royal Rumble, inside a giant Hell in a Cell, and call the pay-per-view, I don't know, let's go back to old school, Lockdown.
Lockdown.
All right.
I like it.
So, we thought there was going to be a Sheamus versus Chad Gable. And by Chad Gable, we call him Chad Gable. What's his ring name now?
I was floored.
Shorty McGee or something?
Yeah, they're calling him Shorty G now. That is just setting him up for failure. I don't know why they're doing that.
is.
It must have been on the pre-show. We didn't watch the pre-show.
No. So the matches that we will be commenting on are the ones that are King Corbin versus Roman Reigns to the end of the pay-per-view.
Indeed. So do you just want to start this, go linearly?
Sure.
Just start at the beginning? Okay.
What do you think is the most important thing that we learned tonight at the Royal Rumble?
That Asuka can take a bump.
I wasn't going to say that at all.
She can take a bump.
She can. And that is the bump of the night. But the most important thing that we learned was that Lucas sucks.
Yes, Lucas sucks.
Lucas, I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're George Lucas or if you're just a bum who didn't show up to the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's who I think it is. I'm pretty sure Lucas is some guy that ditched out on all his bros. They had a seat for him, didn't go to the Rumble with all the guys, so they went, you know what? We're going to write a sign. It's going to say Lucas sucks.
I would laugh even more if Lucas was the only guy who went and just did that to himself.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
So if you're Lucas, comment down below. Or if you know who Lucas is or have an idea who Lucas is, comment down below. We want to hear who you think Lucas is and why does he suck.
Exactly. We spent the whole thing coming up with ideas for why Lucas might suck.
Okay, so the first thing that I really noticed was the 3D models.
They've gotten really good.
I don't know. Is that like, I guess we'll find out next pay-per-view, but is that something that is only for the Rumble because it was taking place on like a baseball field? Maybe they have some gadgets in the arena that allowed them to do that. I don't know.
I feel like I've seen them here and there before, but I don't think I've ever seen them looking decent.
They were pretty cool.
Some of these looked pretty cool. The only thing that I think might be a drawback is if the live audience isn't seeing something and they don't have a Titantron and they don't have pyro.
Yeah.
There was some pyro tonight.
There was some.
Not a ton.
There's a lot more lasers.
Yeah, the lasers look good. I feel like it would detract a little bit. I think ultimately the Titantron is better, but it's kind of some of them were pretty cool.
Yeah. I think you would have to have a consistent, not just location, similar to the Titantron if you were going to do that, but they would need to be moving. It was pretty cool that, you kind of flew through them a few times through these images, but, I wonder if they were supposed to be for a 3D TV.
Oh.
That would be cool. Anyway.
That would be interesting.
If you saw the Royal Rumble on a 3D TV, would you please let us know if those things were actually 3D? Because that would be awesome.
Yeah.
We might have to get a 3D TV.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, maybe. Or if we just need an excuse to get a 3D TV, we could tell people that.
Or we could just get a 3D TV.
We could. Because we're men.
And our opinion matters.
Facts.
Wait, that's the other show.
Oh.
This is the Sport Report.
That's right. Sports. Sports ball.
There were neither. I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Speaking of things that don't have balls, Corbin matches.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Asuka.
Oh no. I will never.
She's got balls.
I will never accuse Asuka of not having balls after that one bump.
My God, she was amazing. Anyway, we'll get to that in a bit.
Indeed, bump of the night for me. Anyway,
yes.
So Reigns and Corbin, this was my worst match of the night. I don't know why this kicked it off.
It feels like it should have been the last match on the kickoff show.
Yeah, it really does.
Which is sad because I have been a fan of Roman Reigns since he was in NXT. Through all the ups and downs, through the Shield when he was really popular, through the massive push when all of you guys hated him. Shame on you for doing that. Shame on you for doing that.
Yeah.
Shame on all of you and your house and your cows and your cars.
And everything.
Everything. Shame. Wow, there's another pubescent voice crack. All right. So I rated this match a C-.
Yeah, I gave it a C. It was severely average. I don't know. So I don't know if Corbin's gotten any better since we stopped watching.
I don't think so. Based on that.
Yeah, I don't think so. His matches I remember they were always the most boring thing on the card. They were always plodding. And it's weird because his finishers are really cool.
Yeah.
He can
hit them out
moves.
of nowhere, and they're big, and they're flashy.
Yeah, if you look at his moveset, he should be a lot of fun. But his stuff is always so boring.
You know, it's kind of like the San Jose Sharks this season. On paper, they're a phenomenal team. And for those of you who know me, I am an avid Sharks fan. I mean, they have freaking Brent Burns and Erik Karlsson, two of the best defensemen to ever grace the game.
And those are names.
They are names. And they are awful. Just awful. Same with this match. Back to wrestling.
So my notes say that Corbin is carried to the ring, which is fitting because he's usually carried through matches.
Do you think that was symbolic on the producer's part?
I'd like to think so. I would like to think that they're smart enough to know that Corbin just kills any match he's in.
And that is not kills in the good way.
Yeah. I will say so there was one spot in here I liked. I liked the porta potty spot. And just that impish grin on Roman's face before he tips it over. That's a good look on him.
That is true. And the crowd.
Yeah.
Holy bleep.
Oh, yeah.
That was just classic.
The crowd made it. I like impish Roman. I don't like serious, get beat down over and over and over again until I get back up and I'm all grr and mean and serious. I don't like that Roman. I like impish Roman.
Well, I think it's what you've isolated in The Witcher as your problem with The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
It's one-dimensional character.
Yeah.
That he always used to play and be forced to play. And I do think that impish grin, that side of him that's having a bit more fun, it really adds to his character and makes him a lot more charming.
Yeah, I would say so.
But yeah, I agree. It was slow and plodding. There was overall a lack of storytelling. There were a bunch of big bombs that were thrown. But I never got invested in the match. I didn't know why they were fighting. Okay, there was the dog food thing.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, okay,
whatever.
That sucks. But, like, why does that lead to a falls count anywhere match?
Yeah, it doesn't scream blood feud.
Right.
But
it screams that Roman's trying to put Corbin over.
Yeah, and try as he might.
He can't.
He can't do it because Corbin will never be over. Even after he wins King of the Ring, apparently.
I know, right?
I mean, that must be where the King thing came from, right?
I really hope he actually won the title and didn't just place it upon himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're pretty good about not giving out the title King unless King of the Ring is a thing. But
one thing we learned during this match is sometimes a trash can is just a trash can.
Yeah, sometimes it's not Chekhov's trash can, as I thought.
What would Chekhov's trash can mean? Do explain the reference to the good man Chekhov.
Okay, so Chekhov's gun is a storytelling principle where you can talk. Basically means if you set a gun on the counter in the first act and draw attention to it, as an audience, you expect it to be used in the second or third act. If you set something up, you pay it off. That's right. Basically what it means. It means if I go, hey, look, a pen. Hey, Bird, I just want you to know there's a pen here.
I'm going to expect you to do something with it.
At some point, that pen needs to do something. Otherwise,
excuse me,
it's pointless, and it's just eating up screen time. So, I don't know. Just the way that trash can was in frame, I thought for sure somebody was going in it, but apparently not.
I did like the use of the baseball field they were in and how they finished on the dugout and everything.
That was cool.
That was pretty cool.
I wanted somebody to go in the dugout.
That would have been fun.
Like get speared into the dugout or...
I wonder if perhaps they weren't allowed to. Like if that is team area and they can't screw with it.
It could be. It could be. Either way, like 85-90% of this match was just them throwing hands, and it was boring. It was a C for me. It's severely average, and it was not a great way to kick things off. Should have been on the pre-show.
Agreed. Shall we move on?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's move on
next
to
match.
a much better match. My match of the night.
Really? It was your match of the night?
My match of the night. This is the best match. If you can only watch one match, I would tell you to watch this one. I know you have a different one for match of the night.
I do.
I loved the Women's Rumble. I thought it was amazing.
Phenomenal.
It was good.
It was phenomenal. And I will say this. Even if the guys didn't have a Rumble, that was worth calling the pay-per-view the Royal Rumble.
I agree. Actually, right afterwards, there was a commercial for NXT, and I saw that Balor was there, and I made the comment without even thinking about it that, hey, it's weird that since they're bringing NXT people into this, that Balor didn't show up in the Rumble. And then you just looked at me, and I realized, oh, wait, there's another
the
one.
Rumble.
Yeah. I thought this was the best Rumble of the night. I thought this was the best match of the night. The girls are bringing it.
Yeah.
Like,
and
women's
it's
wrestling,
really,
wow.
Really nice to see. In the era that we grew up in, a lot of the lady superstars, well, they were called divas back then, and they were little more than pretty faces and pretty bodies, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not to say they weren't athletic, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't grab you.
It's weird when you have Kelly coming back, and
it was.
It's hard for her to play the hits when the hits don't hold a candle to anything the girls are doing nowadays.
And by the hits, you mean her signature moves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But let's break this down. Let's go through it. So we're starting off with Belair, who is
she was great.
I don't know who this is.
She was an NXT call-up, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she was just called up this pay-per-view or if she's had some exposure. I'm not even sure how NXT works anymore. It sounds like they were talking about it like a third brand.
Yeah, I've heard that it's on live TV now, that it's not pre-taped. I could be wrong, but
that would be really
that's
cool.
What I've heard.
When we were watching consistently last time, that was the minors, essentially. It was the development program for the main WWE roster.
Yeah, no, they put her over big.
They really did.
I did not have a great first impression of this Belair person. I hate her entrance. I hate this twirl my hair and skip to the ring, but wow, she's really good in ring.
Yeah. I commented to you while we were watching, it is extremely rare for someone to really put someone off during their entrance and be able to get that pop back.
Yeah. No, I was bought in by the time she went out.
By probably the 5th or the 6th entrant in there, her skill really became apparent. And you start going, all right, this girl's not just, a spot artist. She's actually the real deal.
Yeah.
I really hope they give her a better entrance and really work with her on it.
I hope so.
Because it doesn't get me to take her seriously.
No. Well, and if that's her persona on the mic, it's a shame because it doesn't fit what she does in the ring at all.
No, what she does in the ring is amazing.
Yeah.
She's really the first woman powerhouse in a long time that I really buy into the fact that she's a powerhouse and not just large.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything large with
not that there's anything wrong with a large girl.
Not that there's anything wrong with a large athlete.
Yeah.
If we couldn't have that, we obviously couldn't have football.
Yeah.
So
fact. And what would we do without football, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, apparently we'd be talking about WWE instead.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Probably.
I thought the showdown between Belair and Tamina, speaking of somebody who is larger, was a really good showdown. They showed the power on power really, really well. And I thought they built something that, if it's not going to turn into a rivalry right now, very much could in the future.
Yeah.
Belair has more of a athletic-y, nimble, quick style with her power game, and Tamina is more of that Undertaker-y, slower, but once she gets you, it's over type of wrestler. So I think that would be a really fun feud to see in the future.
Could be. I've never been that into Tamina, but I think we need to talk about Bliss real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Bliss, the other one that came in right at the beginning.
Putting the pen back.
Chekhov's pen.
See, I did something with the pen.
Bliss
Alexa
looked,
Bliss.
Yeah, when we stopped watching, Bliss had some concussions.
Yeah.
She wasn't doing a ton.
Nope.
We didn't know if she was going to wrestle again. She looks golden.
She really does. She has really stepped up and put that division on her shoulders in a lot of ways.
It does seem that way. She's putting people over left and right in that Rumble,
really
man.
reminds me of a Edge or a Jeff Hardy type character. She's not at the top of the card right now, but she is integral to the storyline. She is beloved enough by both the company and the fans that when someone feuds with her, they immediately gain status.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. I'm very happy to hear that and to see that she's gotten into that role.
Yeah.
I think she's made a very, very comfortable niche for herself, and I hope she continues to push the envelope.
Yeah. Yeah. And before we move on, that gorilla press on Belair is amazing. She must have done it, 3 times?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Phenomenal.
So my standouts.
Those two easily get an A+ for me.
Oh, yeah, me too. I've got them graded out at an A+ as well. Liv Morgan, I feel like I know the name. She's one of the many blondes that we saw come to the ring.
She is more of that gray blonde, though.
Yeah.
Rather than the golden blonde.
Yeah, she was one of the blondes that stood out a little bit.
There was like a run of 4 blondes in a row that looked like they could be sisters.
Yeah, it's like everybody's trying to be Charlotte right now. Like,
yeah.
There's definitely a type.
And as we saw, only Charlotte is Charlotte.
That's true. But I like Liv Morgan's bit in the Rumble. She pops out. She has her little... I think there's a feud going on. There must be with that other chick.
That or it's about to become one.
Or it's about to become one. But she only had, probably 30 seconds
Yeah, she
in
made
the
a
ring,
large statement for having only half a minute.
Yeah, she popped out at me, which is really cool to see. You know, she didn't get much time, but she made the most of it. Her expressions are amazing.
Yeah.
Super expressive. I'd love to see more from her. Other standouts are Kairi Sane.
That was next on my list, too.
All right, go for it.
Wow. I adored her gimmick.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Like, I commented to you at one point, her face paint kind of reminded me of Diva from Overwatch.
Yeah.
And I'm overall very skeptical of gimmicks that are too closely resembling of like mainstream characters, whether that be from like anime or superheroes or video games.
Yeah.
But the umbrella thing that she added to the character really changed the feel of the character and really made her feel like her own. Like she's giving a nod almost in that direction, but then doing her own thing. Her talent in the ring was really good. Despite me not hearing about her, she acted like a veteran. She really took ownership of the ring while she was in there.
I have a feeling she's probably somebody that came over from Japan with a lot of experience.
Probably.
That's who she strikes me as. And as we learned later, she's in a tag team with Asuka.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
The
And kudos
gimmick
to
works
her
really well with Asuka's mask thing.
Yeah. And kudos to her. We'll get more into the Asuka match later. But kudos to Kairi for not intervening in that match.
Yeah,
we
I
were
really
sitting
thought she
there
would.
waiting the whole match for her to do something really dumb and screw the match up, and she didn't. She was just a good manager.
Yeah,
she really
Chekhov's
added.
Kairi.
Yeah, she really added to the feel of the match.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the camera angles really helped too.
Yeah, totally. But she did a great job with that.
She did great. She didn't get a ton of highlight spots, but she made the most of them.
Yeah.
I
loved.
Okay, hang on.
Go there.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say I loved how Alexa Bliss put Belair over, and the timing was perfect because like 5 seconds after Bliss got eliminated, Charlotte Flair's music hits, and it's
yeah,
oh my,
yeah,
he just got turned up. This match is getting real serious right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I just wanted to comment on that. But go with Otis. Otis was awesome.
I don't know who Otis is, but I love Corey Graves. He is a national treasure.
Yes, he is.
I don't need to see him. I can smell him. Oh, amazing.
The best return of the night goes to
Naomi's hair?
Santina Marella, in my opinion.
Santina Marella is obviously the right answer. Probably my biggest mark out of the night.
We both gave a standing ovation.
Yeah, just
that was fantastic.
Right over there, right off the couch. I didn't realize how much I adored Santino until he came back. Oh, and the Cobra, and he
steps himself turns around, walks, flips over the. It was sports entertainment at its most entertaining.
At its finest. Oh, speaking of national treasures, I love Santino. Super cool to see him back.
Wonderful job all around.
Yeah.
With him, with Natalia, with Beth Phoenix, because that was who that whole spot was with. That was really funny.
Yeah, did Beth look like she got busted open to you?
She did. I don't think it looked to be very serious. Okay. For a while there, she was leaking pretty good. Mm-hmm. But just based on what I was able to observe, it was probably a small puncture.
Okay.
There's a lot of capillaries in the head. That's why when they used to gimmick, they would cut right above the hairline.
Yeah.
Because it would leak really good, but they wouldn't be in danger of blood loss and would close up very quick and wouldn't scar. Mm. I'm wondering if perhaps her and Charlotte collided heads at some point and maybe a tooth punctured like the back of her head or something.
Oh, that could be.
Because at one point I saw blood on Charlotte's face as well, and she didn't appear to have an injury. It really added to her meanness factor.
It really did.
But
Charlotte's expressiveness was great in this
way
match.
Better than 2 years ago. She has gotten good.
Yeah, I was impressed. Speaking of impressive, Baszler.
Right at the end.
Shayna Baszler is someone who I haven't watched a ton of her wrestling, but I was a huge fan of her in the UFC.
Yes.
And wow, she's just so vicious. I love it. I love Shayna Baszler. I don't know what brand she's on, but I hope she's going to the top of whatever brand. Yeah. She should be going for a championship. She really should.
Yeah. And her being, what was it, second out? Second to last out, sorry. Like, she finished second.
Yeah, she came out late in the match, but
spoilers.
She cleaned house. She cleaned up.
She did great. I don't think it'll be very long before she's in a main event spot, and rightfully so. She is really, really brutal, really aggressive, and it's really nice to see.
Yeah, she almost reminds me of a female Brock Lesnar when Lesnar was in his prime.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that. What with the gut-wrenching stuff that she does, it's very analogous to how Lesnar used to, and still does, use the German suplex.
Yeah.
Very man-handly.
Mm-hmm.
Or woman-handly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
what is that called? Like, do you tag woman on the front end of that?
Or
is that just pandering?
How she handles her business.
She does very good with the gut wrench thingy bobber that she did. And well done, Shayna Baszler.
Yeah. No, that is a frightening human being.
That's right.
There.
We were commenting on that. Like, I don't feel like I would be actually scared of many people. Like, we both have studied somewhat extensively in martial arts.
There are very few people in the WWE who I would not step in an octagon with.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with Baszler in a live fight scenario. Yeah. Nothing to do with it.
And for reference,
there are very few people
like your credentials
on this card who I wouldn't fight. I would not fight Baszler.
Right. And for the record, like, as far as your credentials go, you're a black belt, and you have experience in fighting and things like that. So
I've fought for a while.
It's not like you're ignorant of what goes into that, and you're just going, "Oh, she has a very scary character." You're able to read her movements and read her attitude, and
no, she would mess me up.
Yeah,
she would mess me up hard.
She was very impressive to watch.
Yeah, maybe Lesnar is the other one that I want nothing to do with.
Yeah.
She's probably second only to Lesnar in that regard. But I was super impressed with her. So my standouts for the Rumble, my A-plus players for the night were Alexa Bliss.
Yes.
Bianca Belair.
Yes.
Santina Marella. Shayna Baszler.
Yes.
Beth Phoenix.
Yes.
Whose return was also awesome.
Yes, it was.
And Charlotte Flair.
Okay.
Putting a lot of people over. Was my pick for the winner, so she got me points.
Yes.
That's awesome. Going to Mania, that just makes sense. I think she's, you talked about Bliss putting the division kind of on her back. I think if we want to talk about putting divisions on your back, I think you've really got to look to
Absolutely.
Charlotte. And it seems a little bit like Becky Lynch, too.
Absolutely.
At some point in the past year or two, it seems like Lynch has become a big deal.
Yeah.
Not sure what that's all about because she seemed kind of mid-card when we were watching.
Yeah.
But
we were always talking about how she needed to get her act together so she can make a main card run or main event run.
Yeah, she's got kind of a Kill Bill persona, it seems like.
Yeah,
but,
it was very fun.
We'll get to that. We should go back. So real quick, who was your pick to win the Women's Rumble?
Let me look. I know I didn't win.
Well,
I did win.
Yeah.
We both did pick Charlotte.
Never bet against a Flair.
I thought I picked Rousey, but I guess not. Is
yeah.
that right?
Well, so we had
I
in
picked
there.
Charlotte. Okay.
So our stipulation pick was that Rousey might be coming back.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed like a good time for it, but
in light of her not coming back, Baszler's introduction was phenomenal. I think the number one winner of the match was Baszler, in my opinion.
Baszler or Bianca, they put her over hard.
They did. I think Baszler made a bigger impression, though.
Yeah.
I think Bianca showed more of what she had, and it was very impressive.
I don't even think
but
Baszler
I think they kept
used
them
a finisher.
I think they kept them away from each other for a reason.
Oh, I'd watch that fight.
I would too, but I think they want to build them both to a main event status first.
Yeah.
Because unless you're going to do something like a lifelong feud like they did with The Rock and Triple H back in the late 90s, I'm not sure that's going to pay off until you're in the main event status.
That's fair. So we should backstep a little bit, go back to the boring match. I had Reigns to win. Wait, no, I didn't. Reigns won. I had Corbin to win.
Because you were hoping that Reigns would win the Rumble.
Well, yeah, so I saw that Corbin and Roman were pulling double duty, and I figured it would be the most WWE thing in the world to have Corbin go over earlier in the night, beat down, you do the beat down, I'm injured angle, and then, Reigns comes out 29-30 and wins the whole thing. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, we did these predictions not knowing any storylines. We only knew the lineup. We only knew the roster. And that seemed like the most logical course of action. But Reigns won, so.
Not the Rumble.
Not the Rumble.
He won his opening match.
Indeed.
And they made him look very, very strong. I will say that.
Yeah. So both of us got that one wrong.
Yep.
Anyway, what was up next?